Hey guys, how are you all doing? Nick O'Leary here, and this week we're looking at how to use your Sat Nav. Now, compared to a couple of weeks ago, I did a video on the MBUX system, a full walkthrough guide, which was just under an hour. This video is not going to be that long. This is a beginner's guide on how to use your Sat Nav. So we'll cover things like how to start the Sat Nav, how to finish it, how to mute it, and more importantly, how to update it as well. Now, of course, there are several different Sat Nav systems in the Mercedes-Benz range. They'll all be on the screen just here now for you to see. We're going to start with the top one, Gamin Map Pilot. I should also just mention before we dive in, renewing live traffic information. I have covered that in another video, so I'm going to link that up above. So I won't be covering that in this video. This is purely just how to use the Sat Nav and how to update it. But live traffic is in that video linked up above. Let's go. So guys, to get your Sat Nav going with Gamin Map Pilot, you'll be using this little wheel just down in the middle here. And just a quick recap of what this does, you can spin it all the way around, left and right, like clockwise and anti-clockwise. You can also nudge up and down or rock it up and down, a bit like a joystick, which kind of moves your cursor up and down. You can click it in, so you press it in, a bit like a tap on a laptop, actually click it in. And then there's a back button just at the top, which goes back a step. So if you ever find yourself stuck in the menu somewhere, just hit the back button. Or of course you can use all the buttons over here, which house Navi, radio, media and telephone. But of course we're going to focus on Navi. So if you press Navi, you'll be presented with this screen, which says destination entry, view map and mute. Now yes, you could just spin it around and view the map like this. So if I click this in, it will load up the map saying we're ready to navigate. But if I hit the back button, we'll go back a step. And then we can go to this one. Now this menu item here, destination entry, is the one you'll use the most. So you just press enter on here and you'll have this entire menu housed with all of these buttons. To be honest, the ones you'll use the most will probably be address, the go home, probably the recently and favorites. So those are the ones that people use the most. But to assign a home, so if we go to go home, you can basically just go to enter my address, enter postcode, and then just type in a postcode here. So by typing the postcode, you're just going to spin this wheel around and click enter or push it in on the relevant one. And notice it actually gets rid of all the letters and numbers that don't exist. So you can see here I've just typed in two. I'm going to be typing in BD. You can see that C and G and I are greyed out because they don't exist. So I'm just going to finish this off. And then quite literally just hit set as home, and that is now saved. So after we've saved the home, if we go all the way back to the main menu of what you would usually see when you get in the car, to navigate home, just press Navi, destination entry, and then spin this round to the right and press enter on go home. That will then navigate you home, so it will work out where you are and then give you directions to there. She'll also talk to you as well.
Please drive to highlighted route.
Just like that. And when you're navigating, you'll obviously want to mute it at some point and probably cancel it at some point as well. So on Garmin Map Pilot, quite simply, you just press the wheel in on the map screen. So just press it in and you'll have a menu that comes up showing you exactly what to do. So you've got stop route, which will just completely stop the route completely. You've got repeat prompt.
In half a mile, keep right onto Sturt Road.
So obviously that will repeat what she just said. And if I go all the way down to the bottom, there's mute. Now, although it's a little bit hard to see, I'll just point on the camera. You can just see the mute symbol just here on the top right. And if I unmute that, you'll see that that little mute and unmute symbol will disappear. But yes, I'm just going to cancel that sat nav there, because obviously that was navigating to home and we programmed that in. To navigate somewhere else, say you're back on this screen again, destination entry, it's so simple. You quite simply go to address and then you can either type in the town or the postcode here. Now if you want to do a road name on Garmin Map Pilot, go to town first. So say I was going to go to Poole, Just type this in. There you go, it's found a match. Now to go up to this result, just nudge the wheel up and then enter on that one. And then you type in the house number and then the road. So it's not immediately obvious at the start, but yeah, you go to enter town first and then you can do the house number and the road name. But yeah, once you've got something programmed in, same rules apply, just click it in, you've got the mute and cancel or the finish button all in the same place. So it's really, really simple. In terms of updates for Garmin Map Pilot, it's actually all done on this little memory card here. In fact, let me just turn off the ignition and everything. It's actually done on this little SD card here. Now just be careful, so this SD card is actually quite expensive. They're about £500 from new. The update cards are about £100 from most Mercedes-Benz parts departments. They're roughly around that price. That's the price it is in the UK, or was at the time of recording. I don't know what it would be for other countries if they use this. Yep, little SD card. If you want to update your maps, quite simply head to your local Mercedes-Benz and buy a new card. Obviously keep that card safe because without it in, it won't work. But that is Garmin Map Pilot. Now, Command Online is actually very, very similar to Garmin Map Pilot, however, with one slight difference. It's Mercedes-Benz's own Sat Nav. So again, it uses this little wheel, and some cars even have this touchpad here. So you have a choice. You can nudge the wheel up and down, spin it around left and right, and click that in, just like the Garmin Map Pilot. But this one's the touchpad, so you can swipe this left and right, and it will do inevitably the same thing. But I'm going to use the wheel. So Navi on the top left, click that in, and then you'll be presented with the Sat Nav screen. Now you can zoom in and out just by spinning around anti-clockwise or clockwise, but to use the Sat Nav, it's always on the bottom right, where it says destination just there. The others are just settings and other things, but we're covering the basics. So destination, click that in, and then you've got address entry at the top. From contacts will be your favourites, and then from last destinations, obviously all the last places you've been to. So if we go to address entry, here is where you can select the country, postcode, town, street. But if we go to postcode, very, very similar to Garmin Map Pilot here, we can just type this in. So we can go BH152BD, and there we go, it's found a match. And then you can type in a house number if applicable. But if you go to save, this is how you then save the Sat Nav as like your home, for example. So if we go to save, we can save this as my address. That will purely just save it as my address. You can't change the name then. But if you go to new address book entry, this is where you can add a name. So you can literally just give it a more personalised name there, and that'll save it in that contact section I just showed you. But if we go to continue, and then on some cars, if you've got it enabled, it can show you which particular route you want to take. Route 1's always the quickest, so if you hit start,
Please proceed to the highlighted route.
that's it going, nice and easy. Now, when it's going, of course, if you want to mute it, in this command, it's a little bit different. So you actually use the mute buttons on the steering wheel, all located kind of just in the centre, just there. Now, the thing is with this, if you imagine what sounds the sound system makes. So it can do radio, it can do telephone, it can do sat nav prompts. When you control the volume, or when you use the mute button, you're controlling what is making sound at that particular time. So if, for example, we have the radio on, if you change the volume, you'll be changing the radio, obviously. But if the sat nav is talking and you change the volume, you'll be changing the sat nav volume. The reason why I say this is because when the sat nav is talking to you,
Please proceed.
press mute and the whole thing is muted, but just the sat nav voice. So just the sat nav voice. So if we had the radio playing, that actually wouldn't mute the radio, it would purely just mute the voice. Now to get the voice back, just going to nudge down and see the little picture of the sound with the ear. If you click that,
Please proceed to the highlighted route.
that's how you get her back again. Now to cancel the route guidance completely, just go to destination on the bottom right, and there'll be a new button at the top that says cancel route guidance. If you click that in, that'll stop the sat nav completely. And those are the basics really for using the command. Now to update this command, this one's actually done at a Mercedes-Benz workshop. So kind of recommended if you mention it when you book in for a service, if you just speak to the service advisor or the technicians, just ask them about Sat Nav updates and they can quote you how much it would cost to update. Live traffic on this is then renewed via Mercedes Me, which I've already done a video on before. But yeah, most importantly, updates on this are done at a Mercedes-Benz workshop. They're not performed over the air or at home or anything like that. Next up, we've got NTG 5.5. Now this is also called COMAND, but this is the latest version of COMAND. There is one other operating system or infotainment system that Mercedes have. This is called MBUX, so we'll cover this next. But this is NTG 5.5. So the way this works is, again, you've got the wheel in the middle of the car and a touchpad, so you can use either. Improved now, you've also got a touchpad on the steering wheel, so you can also use this if you wish. So there's another way of interacting with the screen. But you've got Navi, radio, media, tel, car settings. So we're on Navi at the moment, but I'm going to use the wheel. Now the thing that's different on this Sat Nav is that compared to COMAND just before, we had the top menu and the bottom menu. This one's got a menu on the left. So all we do is nudge the wheel to the left. Very similar to COMAND, you can just enter a destination. So we're going to here, we can type in where we want to go. Now on this one, I have noticed, just make sure you put a space, because you do need to put a space in this one for it to recognise postcodes. So space being top right just there. Spin this round and click enter on the specific letters. After it's found it, you quite simply nudge up to select destination, press enter on that one.
The route is being calculated.
Now to cancel this Sat Nav, really easy, just nudge to the left again. This is how you cancel it, you've got a cancel button just in the top there. To mute and unmute, you can use the mute button on the steering wheel if you want to, when she talks to you, but you've got the driving recommendation volume. All you do is press enter on that one and that will mute the Sat Nav, or press it again.
Please proceed to the highlighted route.
And that will unmute it. Now to save that as your home, quite simply just go to previous and other destinations and then go to previous destinations, so places we've been to before, and then you'll see it will list all the places you've been. Notice here you can actually nudge this to the right. There's a menu there just on the right hand side. So if we nudge this wheel or swipe to the right if you're using the touchpads, you can save as home or save as work or delete them. But if you save as a global favourite, just to show you what that looks like, this will save it in the favourites menu. So the favourites menu is located on the home screen. So if I go all the way back to the start, there's a picture of a house, a little home here, or a home here on the steering wheel. Press it in. There's a favourites menu. Just if I nudge down, and this will house all of your Sat Nav destinations. And here is how you rename a Sat Nav destination, basically. So we can put something a bit more personal there, for example. There we go, put something in there. So you can save that as a favourite. Now you can also access the favourites via the steering wheel. There's a little star just over here. Just nudge this down and this will bring up the favourites menu as well. So it's very, very easy to save favourites and load them up and even rename them as well. So they're all done on that menu there. Now to update this Sat Nav, this is actually done in the UK via a Mercedes Me account. So I can show you this here. It's actually hidden away in Home, then System, and all the way at the bottom. This will actually do software updates automatically over the internet because the car has its own SIM card. So as long as it's linked to Mercedes Me, you get 3 years of map updates for free included with the registration of the car. After which point they are chargeable. Prices are located on the Mercedes Me website. But yeah, this Sat Nav is really, really easy to use. And of course, all the updates are done over the internet. So it saves you having to buy cards or visit a local Mercedes-Benz workshop or something like that. So yeah, pretty good. And finally, guys, we have the MBUX infotainment system, which is Mercedes-Benz's latest and greatest, and by far the easiest of them all to use. So it is a touchscreen as well, so you can literally grab hold of it and move your finger across. But there's also now a touchpad with haptic feedback. Haptic feedback is basically a small vibration as you move across menu items, so really, really intuitive. you just swipe left and right. As well, you also have a touchpad on the steering wheel as well. So Sat Nav, going to click in on this one, and this is what the Sat Nav looks like. Now you can zoom in and out by pinching outwards and pinching inwards, so just like you would zoom in and out on a photo on your phone. But quite literally, I'll just swipe this left and right to go through the different menu items. Now the easiest thing to remember with this Sat Nav is these first 3 buttons. So you've got where to, the finish flag and the mute button. That's the basics for the Sat Nav. So if we go where to, for example, you can type in a postcode here, and after you've typed it in, it'll come up on the left hand side, so just swipe across to this or press it on the touchscreen and it'll just ask you to confirm, are you sure that's the place? Yep. Now to save that as a favourite, we just go to the star at the very top, then we've got save in previous destinations, save as a favourite, so this is the one where you can name a favourite, save as home or save as work. But to go, if I go straight down, just click enter on that one.
Your route is being calculated.
So to cancel that, the menu has actually disappeared now, so you swipe anywhere on the screen to bring it back. So just swipe here, and then you can finish it with that flag, or you can mute and unmute quite simply just on there, just like that. So it's really easy.
Then you will have reached your destination.
Now these 2 are settings. I won't be covering those today because they're purely just more advanced things. I've covered those in the previous video, but the basics, quite simply, we just go to finish here, and that will cancel the Sat Nav. Updates for this Sat Nav are all done over the Mercedes Me services. So as long as your car is linked to your Mercedes Me account, again, just like the previous system, you get 3 years of live traffic updates for free, after which point they are chargeable. Again, prices are on the Mercedes Me website. And that's it really. That's as simple as the Sat Navs go in the Mercedes-Benz range. And that's it guys, that concludes today's video on how to use your Sat Nav in your Mercedes-Benz. Now of course, if you liked today's video, don't forget that like button and do hit the subscribe button if you want to see more videos like this on my channel. Until next week guys, we'll see you all then.